Nearly 300 tents have been erected in the central Belarusian village of Cel, next to the town of Osipovice, to accommodate some 8,000 people. According to independent Belarusian media reports, they are to be used by Wagner mercenaries. They will participate in various operations, including in Africa. This means Russia is not giving up operations on this continent, and it is precisely these operations that will be undertaken by Wagner formations, dislocated to their bases, as permanent bases in the area of Belarus. Meanwhile, for several days, the border guard has been reporting increased traffic on our eastern border. Yesterday alone, there were 83 attempts to illegally cross it. We see that this pressure has increased recently, which is why we say that we have entered a new stage of hybrid warfare. Not only do we see increased illegal migration, but also increasing aggression among migrants, such as throwing stones. In 2021, migratory pressure began on the border with Belarus. The Lukashenko regime, with the cooperation of the Kremlin, used thousands of migrants to try to destabilize the situation on our eastern border. This was part of a hybrid war. In view of the tense situation on the border with Belarus, I have decided to strengthen our forces with a group of 500 Polish police officers from the prevention and counter-terrorist units. They will join 5,000 border guard officers and 2,000 soldiers guarding the security of this Polish border. A NATO summit will begin in Vilnius as early as next week. According to representatives of the ruling camp, provocations should also be expected on the Lithuanian-Belarusian border. After all, in Lithuania, there will be an extremely important spectacular meeting involving the most important NATO politicians, and therefore we must be ready. Poland has pledged and will intensively support security on the Lithuanian border before and during the summit. Up to 12,000 officers are to be responsible for security during the summit. Lithuanian forces will be supported by soldiers and services from 16 North Atlantic Alliance countries, including Poland. The reinforcement of this summit will be dignified, and I think someone should think twice before calling something up. This is unlikely to happen. However, we should be more worried about our border. That should keep us awake at night. In connection with the NATO summit, Lithuania is reintroducing controls on the internal borders of the Schengen zone. Poland's eastern border is both the border of the European Union and the eastern flank of NATO. Often such criminals can perform all sorts of tasks. They can walk in Lukashenko's coup, perform his tasks, and for example, organize all sorts of provocations, or make money on the northern migration routes, and push migrants to the Polish border, because they have very good contacts in countries just like Syria or from northern African countries. The deployment of new forces on the Polish-Belarusian border began yesterday. A total of 7,500 border guards, military and police will be there.